He has already given 4 false signals.
Cash has never reacted this way before.
One more false signal, and he is off duty.
Cash froze in his tracks. His body went rigid, nose locked on a black roller bag moving through the security checkpoint at Gate 7. David felt the tension through the leash. He knew that alert. He'd seen it 100 times in Afghanistan, in markets and convoys. That wasn't a maybe. That was a threat. Cash, show me. The German shepherd lunged forward, pulling hard, then sat directly in front of the bag with a perfect alert. Security officers converged. The passenger, a man in a business suit around mid-40s, stepped back with his hands raised. "What's going on?" "Sir, we need to search your bag," David said. This was it. Cash hadn't been wrong before. Not in 3 years of combat, not in 18 months at the airport. Well, except for the last 4 times. They opened the bag and found clothes, toiletries, a laptop, and a book. David's supervisor, Karen, ran the scanner over every inch, swabbed it, and checked it twice. There was nothing. She turned to David with a tight jaw. "That's 4 false alarms in 2 weeks, David. The dog is 7 years old. Maybe he's losing his edge. One more mistake and he's off active duty, understood?" David's stomach turned, but he nodded. The businessman collected his bag, shaking his head. But as he walked away, David caught something unusual. A smile, small and almost invisible, like he'd won something. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment with your favorite airport. I'm really curious where you all are watching from. Now, let's get back to David and Cash. David watched the man disappear into the crowd, and something felt very wrong. Cash whined, low and insistent, his eyes tracking the direction the man had gone. "Come on, boy. We messed up." David's voice was heavy with disappointment, but Cash wouldn't move. He pulled against the leash, staring toward the terminal. 20 minutes later, David was walking Cash through the baggage claim area when the dog suddenly exploded forward. He lunged so hard David almost dropped the leash. Cash charged toward the carousel, barking frantically. The dog stopped at a black roller bag, identical to the one from security, and sat in perfect alert position. David's pulse spiked as he checked the tag. Different name, different flight number. He radioed Karen immediately. "I need you at baggage claim right now." She arrived 3 minutes later, visibly annoyed. David told her that this bag is identical to the one from earlier, but with a different passenger name. Karen's expression hardened. "You're telling me you think someone swapped bags?" "I'm telling you Cash is trying to tell us something." She scanned the bag and swabbed it. The results came back clean. "That's enough. Take Cash off rotation, effective immediately. Go home." David felt the words like a punch to the gut. But that was an order which had to be followed. She walked away, leaving David standing there with the leash in his hand, staring at the bag. Cash whined and pressed against his leg. Around them, travelers rushed past and announcements echoed. It was normal airport chaos, but nothing felt normal. David made a choice that would define everything. "Cash, track it." The dog's ears shot up instantly. He put his nose down and started moving, not toward the exit, but deeper into the terminal. David followed with his heart hammering. He was disobeying direct orders. If he was wrong, his career was over and Cash would be retired. But if he was right, something terrible was about to happen. Cash led him through the terminal, past gates, toward the international wing. The dog moved with clear purpose, weaving through crowds with determination. Then he stopped at a service corridor marked Staff Only. Cash scratched at the door with urgency. David swiped his access card, and the door clicked open. The corridor was empty except for humming fluorescent lights. Cash pulled forward, nose working overtime, and they turned a corner. There it was. The black roller bag, sitting against the wall, all alone. David's hands shook as he approached. He radioed for backup, but kept his voice low. "This is David. I need EOD at Service Corridor C7. Possible threat." His radio crackled immediately. "David, what are you doing? I told you to go home." It was Karen's voice, monitoring his frequency. "I found the bag. The one Cash has been tracking." There was silence. Then her voice came back urgent. "Don't touch it. We're coming to you." But David's hand was already on the zipper. He pulled it open slowly. Inside, beneath a layer of clothes, were sealed containers marked with biohazard symbols, medical-grade equipment designed for transporting dangerous materials. His blood ran cold as footsteps echoed down the corridor, fast and numerous. Karen arrived first, saw the containers, and her face went completely white. Oh my God. Behind her, 2 EOD techs in protective gear moved in carefully. One lifted a container and examined the label closely. "It's a biological agent," he said quietly. "Extremely dangerous. This was heading international. If it had gotten on that plane..." Karen turned to David, then to Cash, sitting calmly with his tail wagging slightly. The false alarms weren't false at all. Someone's been running practice routes, testing security. Cash was detecting trace amounts every single time. Karen keyed her radio with urgency. "Security. I need eyes on a male passenger, mid-40s, business suit, black roller bag, gate 27. Do not approach. Detain only." 2 minutes later, the suspect was in custody. Karen looked at David with genuine remorse. She felt sorry that she must have trusted him and Cash. She crouched down and placed a hand on Cash's head gently. "No more talk about retirement. You hear me, Cash? You just saved countless lives." Cash's tail thumped against the floor in response. That evening, after all the statements and paperwork and commendations, David sat in his car with Cash in the passenger seat. The airport glowed in the darkness behind them as he turned to his partner. "They thought you were done," David said softly. "Washed up and too old." Cash looked at him with those deep, knowing brown eyes. "But I knew better. You've never let me down, not even once." He scratched behind Cash's ears, and the dog leaned into his hand, completely content. 7 years old isn't too old to be a hero, boy. David's phone buzzed with a text from Karen that read, "Cash is being awarded the Director's Medal for Valor. Ceremony next month. You should both be proud." David smiled as they drove away into the night. If this story gave you chills, drop a comment saying, "Good boy, Cash," and smash that subscribe button. These heroes walk among us every day, and their stories deserve to be told.